Well, I think in my experience, there's a couple of ways. And one of them is actually, you framed it really well. I think it starts by having the courage to start having a conversation about things we don't understand, about things that probably worry us or scare us, and just being comfortable being uncomfortable, because that ends up being a reality. And when we get into that space, and it's such a rewarding thing, because I'm seeing more and more and more proactive C-suite and executive leadership teams who are really turning their mind to these skills and about how do we populate, how do we teach this skill, and then make sure that that skill is alive around our C-suite table. And there are more and more and more organizations now making that investment and really wanting to understand. And there's some methodologies. There's principles from incident command and experiences from emergency response and incident command that work really well. There are, some really important models about things like making sure that we are giving everyone in our organization I believe that there's 3 ingredients in the recipe for success. For any of us to succeed, we need the appropriate amounts of authority, accountability, and responsibility. And if we don't have enough of one of those 3 things, we end up failing. And that personal failure in a professional context creates an organizational failure. So really diving into those issues, making sure that organizations and teams know how to be nimble, that they're comfortable with the unknown. And then an earlier conversation, we talked about this notion of being able to make decisions during difficult times in crisis, where it really takes courage in leadership to make decisions with incomplete, inaccurate, and oftentimes either mis or even disinformation, and yet still making decisions that keep the organization focused on what matters to them the most in that moment. And the good thing is, those are teachable, learned skills. They're not something that you either have or you don't. They're skills that we can learn, and they're processes that we can teach. And I'm excited about the fact that there's more and more and more corporations and organizations and associations who are recognizing that we need to make sure that that's alive and well in our leadership team today.